right, 14.
Recording in progress.
Go for it. Let's call to order this regular board meeting for the Board of Directors monitoring the Spaceport at Rattan Field this April 18th. Ariel, I forget, did I put you on the spot last time? I did. Okay. Floyd, we keep picking at you, so let's keep that going. Would you please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is it hot in here? It is a little toasty. I'm not going to complain about it. I like it.
That's all right.
No, welcome. What is it at?
We need to stop picking at Floyd.
Where's the plastic?
73.
That says do not touch.
He was counting on the wind effect.
I was told in here before the meeting.
Well,
I did not miss that.
I'm feeling it correctly, which
Yeah. Well, this is the shortest from calling to order to going totally out of order that we've managed so far. So, roll call. Director Coleman.
Here.
Director Ballantyne.
Here.
Director Allred.
Here.
And I don't think we have Director Morgan today, but we do have Director Barney, so we've got 4 out of 5. Do I hear a motion?
motion to approve the agenda is presented.
Second.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. All opposed? Unopposed. Agenda is approved. Do we have any community announcements or public comment on items not on the agenda? Do we have anybody attending today?
There's a few.
Oh, wonderful.
So, but there's nobody on the meeting, so.
Okay. Well, they're welcome to unmute now.
Yeah.
How about any community announcements from anyone in the room? All right. Well, in that case, on to the consent agenda. We have the minutes from the previous meeting, and we have a resolution declaring certain properties surplus.
Move to approve the consent agenda items A and B.
Second.
All right. All those in favor? Aye. All opposed? Unopposed. Items on the consent agenda are approved. Okay, action items. As was mentioned before the meeting, action item A is going to be tabled until the next meeting.
Yes.
Anything to say about it worthwhile in meeting?
I've just been in communication with the FPPC. They've been asking questions about what's involved, but they have not provided a written opinion.
Okay, thank you. Okay, then we have action item B, one of the Hanson hangars, 908 Alpha sublet
We got to
agreement.
approve never mind. The agenda to approve with an amended item A.
We just tabled it.
Okay. That works.
All right, Tim, are you going to talk to us about item B?
Yeah, Madam President, members of the board, Ms. Kathy Hansen has executed a 25-year ground lease with the airport with one 25-year option to on September 20th, 1987. Then constructed hangar 908A. Ms. Hansen is requesting consent to sublease a portion of her hangar to business class aviation. Both of them are excellent tenants. I have no issue. I think it's a solid agreement. I'd recommend approval.
Anything non-standard about it, or is this pretty typical?
It's pretty typical. It's just a standard sublet agreement.
Who is Business Class Aviation?
That is the name of the company that operates the boneyard.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
It sounds like her option is about to come up for renewal. 87, 97, 2000. Oh no, she already.
Yeah,
She's
so
the second.
She's into the second one.
It's-
Okay. Yeah, I missed 10 years. Yeah.
36 years in.
Yeah.
So
50.
11 into her second.
Yeah.
25.
Okay.
Was the chit chat relevant to this at all, or is that independent? Nope. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I did have to use.
No worries. No worries. Any questions or comment from any members of the public? Any other discussion from any members of the board? All right, this one does require an action from us.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And we have a second. All those in favor of approving the sublease agreement say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unopposed. Sublet is approved. Item C, Sean and Nadia Roberts. They want to assign a lease to NTPS. It looks like we've got two similar things in a row. All right, the first one. Okay,
Yes.
Sam, are you going to tell us about the first one?
Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Roberts executed an assignment of a lease on April 20th, 1993, for 1.46 acres, a 50-year ground lease for hangars 98 and 99, which is anticipated to terminate April 30th, 2037. Then the hangars will revert back to the airport. The Roberts are requesting their lease to be assigned to the National Test Pilot School, Inc., who have been subletting the hangars for a number of years, and once again, another excellent tenant and excellent standing. Staff definitely recommends approval of the assignment authorization for the CEO to execute the agreement with council approval.
And so this was the topic that I was speaking with Lynn about. And we had some back and forth that was going on with the form of the assignment agreement. And Lynn, I know that they sent comments and I responded. Is the final assignment form in the board packet, or have we reached a final form, or are we still?
The final form is not in the form packet. I am doing it to them, and we just add it finally.
Yeah, so my comment is I don't have an opinion one way or the other on whether you should do the assignment, and if staff recommends it, then think that that's a great idea. They wrote their own assignment, and the district has a standard assignment form that it uses for all of its leases. And so if the board is inclined, we would ask that you approve the assignment subject to the CEO and legal counsel approving the final form of the assignment agreement.
This isn't going to be our standard.
They wanted some consent language in there regarding the status of the leases, which I'm fine with. But I think it's for lenders' purposes. I may be wrong on that, but I'm fine in general with that language, and it would be added on to what is otherwise part of our standard assignment form.
Question. The test pilot school, they currently sublease the hangars and the property. So are they going to acquire the lease in full then? Is that the plan?
Yes.
So Sean and Nadia are still going to be owners of the property, but their lease is given to the test pilot school. Is that kind of?
No, they don't own the property. The airport owns the property.
Okay.
They're assigning their leases in whole to NTPS,
And
as
that's
opposed to just subleasing it.
specifically those two hangars and property. And don't they own some more in the area also?
Yeah, I think that they still have other leases, Lynn?
No, these are the last two.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And so the operations aren't going to be significantly different from subleasing to now then, right? Okay. That's
So
good.
they're just wanting to sign their lease to us over to NTPS. Is there any other financial consideration that they're getting for doing this, or they just basically want to get out of it?
Are the Roberts selling the hangars? And Floyd's walking the way, isn't he?
I believe they are working a deal with the Roberts to take over the two hangars that will not revert to the airport at the end of the week. The other two hangars will revert to the airport, so they won't buy those particular hangars, but I think it's on taking some of those. And then they do want to purchase that hangar from the Roberts on it.
The other two leases.
I want more clarity on this. I don't know. Sounds like we're saying, okay, if it's okay. But I want more clarity. I don't want to approve this.
So it's just a lease assignment for hangars that will revert to the district in 2037.
This is the first one.
And the second one, there are two other leases, right, Lynn?
Yeah, there's two hangars on each.
And,
Oh, okay.
and all four hangars revert to the district.
So,
No,
Okay.
so two of them are like our old school leases, where they continue to own them
Mhm.
at the end of the lease. Do we have a right of first refusal? And it's the right of first refusal lease.
Until what year?
$55-year ground lease.
Yeah, from 1987 to,
yeah, hangars 201 that they have a right of refusal on. They have to keep the lease for 55 years.
Okay. 55 plus 4 is equal to 58, right? So 2058, 59,
2059.
5, 4 or 5, okay.
Yeah.
59.
I guess I'm not understanding the concern. What kind of clarity would folks prefer? Is it something that's not sitting right?
I don't have a concern, I'm just trying to understand what the airport owns on the airport and when they will own it, you know? It's no concern at all.
I don't think I do. Obviously, we don't have one until those terms come up.
And it's going to NTPS, which has
Right.
been here for
We
a
know they pay
long
their
time.
bills, yes.
And they've been operating out of those
Yeah.
properties anyway. So operationally, it isn't a change.
Yeah,
It's
right.
legally just changing the name on the lease.
Yeah.
The leases aren't being amended. So
I'm okay. I'm okay. I just, yeah.
Any comments or questions from members of the public?
I propose to transfer the lease to the test pilot school.
Okay, for item C. Right, all those in favor of approving,
was there a second?
not yet.
Second.
Yeah, sorry, was just clarifying because we had some ambiguity about what we were talking about. Oh, making sure.
Is
Yeah,
it C and D?
Oh,
Yeah, there's C and D and they're separate action items, so let's have the vote separate. But, all right, so for item C, all those in favor? Aye.
right.
All opposed? None opposed. And for item D, was there any other conversation anyone in the room or on the line wanted to have?
I think that's when we had the conversation.
All right, well, conversation has concluded for action item D then.
Approved.
All right, do we have a motion?
Motion approved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. All opposed? None opposed.
Thank you, and I apologize if there was any confusion explaining the process.
Okay, item E. Tell us about this rehab project. What have we got?
This is, we had standard scope for the construction administration for the 1230 rehab project. It's 90% eligible under AIP. The district's portion would be 10%. We did conclude the IFE, and it came back in within FAA's recommendations. So
What's the
the
IFE?
independent fee evaluation. Rather than it going out to bid, it goes to an IFE, and then they evaluate the cost to make sure that we're getting the best price available. So standard construction administration for the construction portion of the project, we've already approved the granite contract for the actual construction. And then the district's portion is $94,075 and a handful of change. And then staff recommend that we approve the scope.
I'm good.
Any questions, discussion from anyone in the room?
So it's real clear the schedule of operations that, you know, one runway will remain open the whole time. There's no kind of, it might be this. It's kind of very clear that runways are going to remain open for, you know, either long enough for
Correct. The schedule that's in this scope, it coincides with the granite schedule, which that was determined for the granite schedule, yes.
Yep, and I think we're gonna get an update from Tim on dates and all that good stuff when it comes down to his reports. So do we have anybody online? If there's any questions or comment? Okay, do I hear a motion? Does this need a motion?
That needs a motion. I'll make the motion to approve the construction administration of runway 1230 rehab project.
I'll go ahead and second this one. All those in favor? Aye. All opposed? None opposed. Action item E is concluded. And that does it for all of our action items. So on to our reports. See, are we starting off with Carrie today?
Yep. Good afternoon. These are the financials for ending February 28th, 2023. Bank balance did increase $275,000. I did do the first draw for 12/30 because we hadn't done any of the engineering fees that we'd already paid for. So I did do a draw on that in March. So that's why the bank had increased during that time. We're still on track with our revenue and expenses. Operating revenues at 71%. And operating expenses are at 58%. We should be at 67%. So it's good. The revenue is higher and the expenses, right? No problems there. Fuel sales was 51,000 gallons for the month. Year to date is 532,000 gallons. The AR, American Verde, they have vacated their property and is planning on sending their final payment. They did have a deposit on account, so we did apply it to their account. So they do have a balance due. And we are still in communication with them and working on that.
What property is that?
It was hangar, was it 973?
Okay.
Yeah, so we got that back and I believe it's already rented out.
What's the name of the company again?
American Verde.
Is that the electric plane with all the rotors on it? One of them?
I don't believe so. I don't believe they had moved anything in the
Okay.
hangar. They were planning on getting some investors coming in.
There's another one.
Yeah, and that didn't. So the project kind of got put on hold. So we're hoping that they'll come back to us once they kind of get everything in line. SpaceLink, working with legal on that one. And then Dean Sos did make a payment, a $500 payment on April 4th. So he is continuing to pay down some of his balance on his past due. And he is still in communication with us, yeah.
The standard 90 days.
Yeah.
Did that bring the principal down at all?
Yes, it did. Yeah, because.
Okay, well,
Yep.
I wish
And
you the best.
Yeah, and then Maston, we are working with legal on the bankruptcy on that one. Fitness Center has 609 members, so they are still growing. So,
Great.
yep. Does anybody have any questions?
Director of Administration, I thought you were CFO.
My official title is Director of Administration. Yeah. Or whatever.
Go.
Yeah. I know. When I see the DOA, I'm like, oh, I don't like that.
No, yeah, I don't like that one either.
Yeah.
I'm glad we spelled that one out in full this time.
Yes.
Well, I don't know, you deal with the dough.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, but yeah, dead on the run.
Yeah, that's what I see.
Yep. Yes. All right. Well, thank you, Carrie. And Tim, you're up.
All right, Madam President, members of the board. First update on runway 1230 rehabilitation. Confirmed with Mead and Hunt. The start date, well, we haven't got the start date hammered down confirmed. It's going to be May 29th, May 30th. It's because of the holiday. We're just waiting on Granite to get back to us on when they want to start. But everything is on track so far. I did have a little bit of a hiccup that you and I discussed. For some reason, I thought that the runway was supposed to be closed for 28 days as opposed to 34, and it had me kind of freaking out because we just had briefed everybody on it, and it turned out that no, I was mistaken. I don't know how I got that in my head. 34 days is the total closure time for the runway. So just to let you and everybody else know that was just a little brain fart on my end. Taxiway Alpha electrical rehabilitation. Once again, good chance we're going to get this AIP discretionary funds to do the electrical and signage replacement on Taxiway Alpha. It is scheduled to start sometime in the September or October 2023, or this September, October. More to come with that as we get more information as we do our work in the background. The inland port, I'm still waiting to hear back from them. There's supposed to be a Caltrans grant awarded here, it was supposed to be last week when it was supposed to be announced, but we're anxiously awaiting the results of that grant because, as we briefed in the past, it will have an impact on some infrastructure improvements at the airport as well as infrastructure construction over at the inland port. Me and Hunt submitted their 60% plans and technical specs and a report for the project. What this basically is just our opportunity to just make sure everything is going as planned. The plans are coming out to catch any problems at this time. I have no information about the hangar developments as of today. I had a conversation with Mead and Hunt, who has an expert on hand on GA. Yeah.
Yep. Jim has a question on the previous item you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Regarding this water in the engineering, who do we have on our side that's looking at it to verify that there's no problem? Is that okay?
Good old trusty Floyd there.
Right. A lot of weight on your shoulder now, Floyd.
Yeah, I better be right, huh?
Okay. No, I'm good. I knew we had somebody. I just wasn't sure. Thank you.
In regards to the payload processing facility in the Spaceport Master Plan, as you guys I'm sure you guys saw them around here. I'm sorry, I'm getting all convoluted here. Last week, I met with AFRL and talked with BRPH to narrow down the scope of the payload processing facility. We're still working with BRPH and AFRL for design requirements. This is just the boring stuff before stuff actually starts moving. So just a lot of planning. And then just a couple of updates really quick. Last week, both Ariel and I attended the Saracosa Community College Aerospace Workshop. I was on a panel and we were discussing the current needs for Kern County. It's actually really interesting. Us, Edwards, and China Lake are all in the same boat. We're trying to figure out how to attract and retain employees and getting the talent matched up to the jobs that are currently open. Saracosa is super interested in doing this work. And like we've been talking about, they're still working on setting up a ground school at Mojave Air and Spaceport this summer. Interesting note, I did talk to the president of NTPS the other day, and he is still very interested in providing as much support as possible, including classroom facilities if the class is going to be held at night. So I thought that was very generous at NTPS. And then this week, today, I'm in Colorado Springs at the Space Symposium. The goal was to meet up with the state's GoBiz team. They have not been responsive to my attempts to contact them. So I guess I'm just going to have to look for them in a sea of 10,000 people. There's a lot of people that attend this conference. As a matter of fact, as it's kicking off and we're getting into the details, I would highly recommend that next year a board member or board members attend, because I think this is a good opportunity for the board to actually see what's going on in the space world. It's more flashy, it's more shorter, condensed material as opposed to what I've been attending for the last couple of weeks at other conferences. I think I would highly recommend you guys attend next year. And that is all I have for the board.
Anybody have any questions for Sam? I know you covered everything I was interested in. Is there anything else? No? About anybody online? No. Okay. All right. Everybody's staying quiet.
Why the onliners are awful quiet.
All right. Thank you very much, Tim. Okay, we don't have any standing board committees. I don't see a need to stand on up. Looking around for disagreement, I don't see any. Okay, on to director comments for items not on the agenda.
I have one. Good job on the ball field. It looks nice, Floyd. Now, this is the 25-mile-an-hour view, but from what I saw, it looked nice.
It's still a struggle, and I the credit is not too far.
I'll pass it on, but it's. I always think of it. That's our entrance, and that's something people notice when they come on. Seeing it dried out, deserted, and it's being used. So
Yeah, there was a ball game on the other day when I left the meeting.
Anyway, I noticed it.
Just a comment, we might cover this in the close, but the bankruptcy of Virgin Orbit, again, let's try to prevent the airport from losing more money. I mean, bankruptcies are tough, and especially if they're not paying for a lot of leases and things like that, but that'll probably be covered shortly. But this is just public that I'm reading every day about Virgin Orbit bankruptcy and everything. So everybody's keeping their eye on it, but minimize the amount of money the airport loses is my goal.
We did make payment, didn't
Yeah, we did make one payment.
Mm-hmm. How far are they behind?
They owe for March and April. Yeah, we haven't
And-
received the paperwork into that.
And that's about 54,000 maybe? Okay. So we might lose that then. Yeah.
Not April, since I think if they filed it with April 4th, so they would owe us for April, so it may be just March.
Okay.
All right, if there are no other comments, then moving into closed session.
And those that are online, I'll leave you in a waiting room until they're out of closed session.